Hey y'all, yes, it is snowing. We're actually filming this. Yeah, that wind is kicking up. Burr, I think we're ready to go back inside and get warm. So, this is Capital K9s. I'm filming the opening for this show on January 21st, 2025. A rare snow day in Gonzales in the greater Baton Rouge area here. This is a show about dogs for dog owners, dog lovers. Maybe if you're thinking about getting a dog, this is the show for you. We're going to talk all about everything to do with dogs. We're going to cover training, health care, diet, grooming. Yeah, Luna Bell here is my partner. She's kind of our co-host. Come here. And she is a purebred working line German Shepherd. She is a sable color. This is the first time she's ever seen snow. She's 4 years old. I got her from Kara's house here in Ascension Parish in Gonzales Animal Shelter. Listen, it's estimated 15% of the dogs in animal shelters in the United States are purebred animals. So if you're looking for a purebred, go look at shelters first. You may find one. Yeah, let's get on with this premiere episode. Thank you for tuning in. I'm really happy you're here. Come here. Yes, you want to get the show started? Let's go. All right. Hey, often I'm going to be reviewing a book on the show. I love to read. So this being our premiere episode, I wanted to start off not reviewing a book, but reviewing a book author, particularly Blanche Saunders, who is considered the mother or grandmother of formalized obedience training and obedience as a sport. A poodle breeder named Helen Whitehouse Walker attended obedience competitions and studied them in England in the 1930s. They weren't doing real obedience, formalized obedience training or doing it as a sport here in the United States at the time, but in England they were. So she brought her studies and what she had discovered about these competitions to America. During that time, Helen had hired Blanche Saunders to work in her kennels around 1934. They got the American Kennel Club to accept competitive dog obedience as an official sport in 1936. Then Walker and Saunders packed up their stuff, their dogs, got a big trailer, and traveled across the United States, covering an estimated 10,000 miles in 10 weeks. And they went on this obedience teaching tour, giving lectures and demos and lessons on dog obedience. Blanche later conducted demonstrations in Rockefeller Plaza and also at Yankee Stadium. It is estimated that in Yankee Stadium she did demos to an estimated 70,000 people. Now name one other dog trainer today who does lessons or demos or anything in front of 70,000 people live. In 1946, Saunders published her first book titled Training You to Train Your Dog. It was immediately a bestseller and remained a bestseller through the 1970s. She went on to publish many, many other training books. She was said to fear a dog bite like that of a mosquito. I actually have started a collection of her books, and I collect them because of the historical significance and because who this woman was and what she did. So I just want to say, Blanche Saunders, big salute to you. America thanks you. I thank you. And wherever you are, you are an impressive person. Thank you for giving us this formalized obedience training and showing us that anybody can do it. Blanche Saunders, a true dog industry icon and hero. Hey, I'm here with Tiffany Clements
Hi.
at Ascension Groomery. It's a grooming facility that I've used actually for many years now. When I started using it, when
Lacey was mobile.
Right, Lacey
Yes.
was mobile.
Yes.
And then she left that, and she
Correct.
had this little bitty place
In her front yard.
In her front
Yep,
yard.
in her front yard.
And I took Lunabelle there.
Yeah.
And now she's here. And I remember when this place first started, it was just her.
Yeah, it was
And
just her and Nick.
I think then it was her and one other person, one other groomer.
Her, myself, and then another groomer who has since left. She had a career change.
And her husband helps out,
Yes,
right?
yes, Lacey's husband, Nick. Yep.
Yeah, Nick
Yep,
helps
he helps
out
a lot. Yeah.
He was very active.
Good girl, Luna.
There she goes.
Good girl, Luna.
I mean, it's been incredible to see where Lacey has taken this,
Yes, it is.
and to be here. And how many groomers do you have working right now?
When Lacey grooms too, 8.
8.
Eight.
8 groomers.
8 groomers, yeah, in this small room. Yes.
Wow. So how did you and Lacey hook up? How did y'all meet?
When she was mobile, I worked for the same company at the time.
Oh,
and
so y'all been together from the beginning?
Yes, but I didn't meet her in person until she was actually opening this. We just stayed in contact with one another.
And I know she worked for like other places before the grooming place, and I assume you
Yes,
did too. That
Lacey started at PetSmart, and then went from PetSmart to mobile, and then from mobile to working for herself, and then she expanded into this.
And where did you start?
I started as an apprentice for a mobile groomer
Okay.
in 2018, and I finished my training in 2021. So I've been in the industry for almost 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be 7 years this September, and I've been grooming on my own for a little over 3 years. We do offer a full service salon experience. We do, as we saw today, de-sheds. We do full haircuts. We do breed-specific trims, pet trims. Most of what we do is pet trims. And by that I mean we do haircut styled to the owner's preference, and always considering the dog's individual lifestyle as well.
What you're going to see over the next few episodes of the show, we're going to break this down because it's a lot to show.
Right.
So we're going to break this down into bathing, blow drying, nails, brushing, teeth. We're going to be doing a lot of different things over several episodes. How long does it take to bathe, to groom an average dog? On average,
For a 72-pound dog with a coat similar to hers, the bath and blowout about 30 to 45 minutes. For a dog her size that has longer hair, like a golden retriever or a really big Australian shepherd, it would take about an hour. And for our poodly doodly types as well, with the curly hair, her size about an hour, depending on how long their coat is. Shorter coats dry faster, longer coats take longer because you got to get down to the skin and then work your way out with bathing, rinsing, and blow drying. You want to get to the root and then dry it out, because for haircut dogs, you want that hair to be as straight as possible to get a good finish.
Right. What should somebody know about a groomer before they walk into it? What should somebody expect? What should they not expect?
You should never be afraid to ask for references for what they can do.
Right.
Photo references. Like, we're in front of our photo backdrop right now. Every dog that we groom, we decorate this. We love it. We decorate this for the season of the year, and we have bandanas that match, and that allows the owner to see what their dog looked like after they were done being groomed, and it also gives our groomers a portfolio to build for themselves for finished work.
Cool.
For new clients, we have an intake form that they fill out online, and it asks about health issues, skin issues, and then if something were to come up between then and their appointment, if they don't tell us about it and we notice it, we will stop the groom and call them and say, hey, we noticed puppy's skin is looking kind of irritated. You might want to bring them to the vet, or if it's an open wound, we just stop altogether, because that's unsafe to because you don't get cut hair into it and it can potentially cause infection. But we do see a lot of allergies, especially around here. Every pollen bloom, the dogs feel it too, especially in their feet. They get yeast in their feet and their ears and stuff.
And what about if like they've got like the dog does have some kind of sensitive skin or an allergy, and the vet has a prescription or recommended shampoo or conditioner or whatever to use?
Bring it. Whatever your vet recommends, we will do, because whatever's best for the dog is our bottom line.
Cool.
We'd rather you let us know, hey, puppy has allergies. They tend to do better with oatmeal shampoos. We have oatmeal. Or they tend to do better with chlorhexidine or miconazole shampoos. We have those as well. Or if you yourself have a very sensitive allergies to like scents, we will forego doing any scents in the shampoo. We have dye-free and scent-free shampoo, and we also can just not do cologne on your dog, because if it makes you irritated, then I mean, bring dog-safe shampoo though. We will not use human-grade shampoo.
That was my next question.
We've had clients bring us bottles of Dawn. We're not going to use that on your dog. We've had clients bring us Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo. We will not use that on your dogs because it's just not safe for their skin. They have a different pH than humans do. So every shampoo that we use on dogs is made for dogs.
Right, because the pH in a human shampoo will irritate and dry out and do nasty, ugly things to a dog's skin.
You can make a mild skin issue much worse by using a human-grade shampoo.
And again, over the next few episodes, you'll see Luna Bell get groomed and go through the various phases and get this demo.
Pretty good.
Which will start in the next episode. But for right now, is it any advice you would give just off the top of your head to people at home about grooming and bathing, and how often should a dog be bathed?
It depends on the dog. If your dog gets down and dirty and muddy once or twice a week, you can bathe them once or twice a week.
Just not with people shampoo.
Just not with people shampoo, correct.
If a good rinse off is not too bad either. Right?
No, but if you do rinse off your dog and they have a coat that tends to curl up or tangle easily, you want to make sure that you dry their coat thoroughly with a blow dryer. Because if you let them air dry, their instinct is to rub all over the floor and on the carpet and on you and in the grass. And the friction of them rubbing will cause tangles, and that can lead to severe matting that you have no other option but to have shaved out.
Right.
If you have a matted pet at home, please do not try to cut the mats out, because it's hard to distinguish what is mat and what is skin, especially if you're just using your kitchen shears.
Real quick, the Furminator brush is real popular.
Yes.
And I do use it on her once or twice a week. The rest of the week, I have a glove that has nubs on it that I can just pet her, and I do that.
Pulls out the undercoat.
But the Furminator, why not use it all the time?
Because it's a little too abrasive to use daily or like every other day. Because you can risk making micro tears on their skin, because the Furminator is essentially a blade on a comb, and you're just going in, and the spaces between the teeth of that blade are going to pull the undercoat out. And if you hang around in one spot too long on your dog, you can very severely irritate their skin. A lot of our older dogs will start to have warts and moles pop up as they get older. If your dog has any of those, you want to avoid using something abrasive like a Furminator or an Equi-Groomer at all costs, and switch to just using what you said, like the rubber mitt with the little nubs on it, and just do a gentle pet to remove that pesky undercoat that litters your house with.
And let me tell you guys, I'm lazy. I hate to vacuum and mop. I do it every week because I have to, but I don't like to. But you know, it's a whole lot easier than that. Putting that mitt on and walking outside. Brush your dog out in the yard, not in your house. Go out in the yard, because then the wind will blow all the fur away. And I go out and I just do a mild brush. I'm not doing a real intense.
It's amazing the amount of hair that comes out too.
I'm spending a couple of minutes just getting a little hair off, and that's it. We do it every day. I
would brush all over until you stop seeing an absorbent amount of hair
Right.
come out.
I appreciate all this. And
No
again,
problem.
in coming up episodes, we're going to see you actually take Lunabelle here through a full grooming.
Yes.
Which is going to
I'm
be very
excited
cool.
to show you all.
So you're going to want to watch the next few episodes to catch all that, because she goes through and explains it all. So listen, I appreciate this,
No
man.
problem, Mr. Ben.
And thank you for everything.
You're
and
welcome.
Listen, Ascension Groomery, how can they get in touch with y'all?
You can find us on Facebook. We have a website. You can message us on Facebook. You can go to our website, and if you are a new client inquiring about booking an appointment, you can fill out our intake form, which is linked on our Facebook page and our website. And then once the form is received, we'll respond to you from a 985 area code, and then get you booked for an appointment.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And listen, y'all got to keep watching the next few episodes for this, because it's really interesting. It's really fascinating what you're going to see.
Moviegoers and animal lovers alike, come many and come all, I welcome you to Capital K9's movie recommendation of the week. I'm Bill Arsenault, local Hollywood South film critic. To kick off this first episode, I felt the need to choose a film that would leave a mark. Not one that bites, but the kind that gives an impression. That is why I've chosen for y'all the brave and husky film, The Year of the Dog. Currently available to stream for free on Tubi, and for subscribers on Prime Video, The Year of the Dog was a challenge for me to sit with, on a personal level, mind you. It's about a young man who, after being released from a local drunk tank, so to speak, begins his uncertain road to sobriety in a small Montana town. Now his goal is to clean himself up to see his ailing mother so she can see him at his best. And to help him be his best, a husky stray he calls U-Pick comes into his life. Now both him and his new companion are stubborn, and they clash often with one another, but ultimately they do bond over a local sledding competition known as dog pulling. Now from here, the rest of the movie's plot should be easy to figure out, correct? Not so much. The Year of the Dog, while roughly sappy and overly woe is us at times, does indeed express fine points about Alcoholics Anonymous, about indigenous communities, about trust, and about vulnerability. It's an ace in the hole of independent cinema, and will be an affirmation of love for dogs and for their chosen families everywhere. A sentiment like that should be made into a portrait. The Year of the Dog has made it into a fine picture. Does that count? It does. For more reviews, recommendations, and ruminations on the whole of cinema, you can subscribe to my online newsletter and blog located at www.moviegoing.rocks, and you can find me on the Blue Sky app. Support Louisiana Film, and support your local animal shelter.
Hey, and welcome to Train Don't Complain, a little segment where I'm going to give you little tips on training your dog and how to do some really neat things. Today, I'm going to show you something really simple but really important to training your dog called the attention sound. I use the kissy sound, or you can go whatever. You're just going to make a sound that you can make anywhere, easily, reflexively, that gets your dog's attention. I'm going to make the sound and walk backwards, holding this treat here. And normally I'd make the sound 3 times. I'm going to break that, walk off, get her doing something. Come here. Get her doing something else. Good girl. But this is not a recall. We're not recalling. This is not come. This is just to get her attention. It will help in future training and all kinds of things. So I'm all out of treats. No more treats. Hey, welcome to my kitchen, or as my friends call it, Ben's kitchen, or whatever. But as Lunabelle calls it, the best room in the house. And I'm today going to talk to you about the #1 dog training treat. It's the most popular, it's the easiest to acquire, and dogs love it. Hot dogs. But just chopping them up, I've chopped up a pack here already. These, you fool with them, and they're kind of greasy and grimy, and they get oily. And after you've been training a lot, your hands get gooky, and it can be a mess. And your pouch, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, will really need to be washed out like every use. It's just grimy. But I'm going to show you how to take care of that, make the treat more appealing. But first, I'm going to talk about pouches. Now, I just wore out a pouch, and it just wore out. So I had it for years. So I just bought a replacement. This is a one you find on Amazon. It goes around your waist. You adjust the strap. It's easy to get to. You just pop it open. You can get into it real easy. Pop it closed when you need to, because I don't want stuff falling out. This one has a little zipper in the front that I never use for anything, but if that's useful for you, cool. But if you're not doing a lot of training, if you just got like one dog and you're just doing basic obedience training. Oh, and look who showed up, because of course she shows up when I'm cutting up hot dogs. She always does. But if that's all you're doing, go to the hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever, and get one of these really inexpensive canvas tool pouches. They're real inexpensive. This is like $4-something, $4.70, 80-something. Let's call it $5. $5. I mean, way cheaper than that. So now we got that out of the way. Let's move on to the actual hot dogs themselves. So you want to use a nice sharp knife. Make sure your kitchen knife is nice and sharp. One thing to be careful of when you're doing this is you don't want to be chopping off your fingers. I know, yes, it is true that people live perfectly healthy, happy, productive lives without a finger or two, but let's not find out. Okay, let's not find out. Let's just take the word for it. What I do is I'll open the pack. I always want to drain if there's liquid down in there. These are a little bit drier than usual, but drain it out, and I pull them all out together. This way I can hold them all together and just start cutting. Makes it easy to chop up. One thing I will tell you is buy the cheapest hot dogs in the store. Never spend. Don't even spend $2 on a pack of hot dog. You can find hot dogs for $1 something at pretty much any store. Well, what we're going to do to these is dehydrate them. Yes, I put these in my own dehydrator. I put it at its highest setting, and I do 3 hours, and they're pretty much done. They're going to be cooked, but not like if you boil them. They're going to be a little more leathery, a little more rubbery. And that does a few things. First, it dries out all these oils so that you can handle them all day long. You will get some moisture on your hands. You will have a hot dog smell on your hand, but it won't be as bad, nearly as bad as raw. And when you give it to the dog's going to, since it's leathery and even a big dog like this, she chews them for a minute before she swallows them. And I find what that does for me doing the training is I reward her. She's chomp, 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 and I get to take a breath. I get to go, okay, what's the next step? What am I going to do next in this training? I really like that little, I can take a beat. You can dehydrate them in the oven. Let's talk about the oven. Let's say you don't have a dehydrator. You got an oven. Lay them out on a cookie sheet. Okay, don't grease we don't want to add grease or anything. Don't grease the cookie sheet. But basically, you're going to put your oven on its lowest setting. The problem with the oven is, and it's not a problem, just a fact of life of using an oven to dehydrate, you're going to take longer in the oven than you do in an actual dehydrator, sometimes twice as long. All right, we've got everything cut up, ready to go. Get that loaded up. I've got 2 more trays. I could have done a 4th pack of hot dogs and filled up, probably I think I could have done a 4th pack of hot dogs and filled up another tray. and maybe part of a tray. I could do 5 and squeeze it all together and force them in, but first of all, I don't feel like cutting up that many hot dogs. 3 is plenty for me at a time. I'll do 4 on occasion, but I mean, you don't want to have them too bunched up together. You want to be able to have the air be able to circulate around them to get them to dehydrate, and there you go, just because you're so pretty, dehydrate and efficiently and quickly. So we've got our dehydrator here. I'm gonna yeah, 160 is the highest mine goes. I've got on 160, and I'll do 1, 2, 3 hours. Now mine usually does 3 hours. On occasion, depending if I'm doing more, it might take 4 hours, 5 hours. Usually 3 hours gets me done with hot dogs pretty good. There we go. And now we just let that run. All right. Well, we've got these done. And now I'm just going to put them in a little plastic container to put in the fridge. Now, I used the word leathery before. I think I might take that word back. They're rubbery. They're rubbery. You can squish them and squeeze them, but they don't give too much. And they're not as greasy and wet as when they were raw. We're going to just dump all these in here. And when I'm done putting all these away, I just throw all my dehydrator trays and stuff into the dishwasher, and I'll run that cycle to clean everything. Even these fine mats can go in the dishwasher and just easy cleanup. Remember, this is 3 packs. Now there's a few missing, you know, I check them from time to time, and when I check on them, of course, Luna Bell's right there next to me, looking with those sad puppy dog eyes, and I've got to let her have a couple. All right, come here, up, down, up, there you go, good girl. Yeah, I've let them run for as long as 5 or 6 hours. I've done them in as little as 3 hours. It really depends on your dehydrator and kind of what you prefer the texture and dryness to be. So dehydrated hot dogs makes them way more appealing to your animal. Is not as greasy on your fingers and your hands, and really easy and cheap to do. Yeah, I know you want the whole container, huh? Okay, so that's our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate you being here with us, and I hope you join us next time for Capital K9s. And remember, your dog's family. Everybody, have a good day. Be blessed.